Hi, welcome everyone. This is Mihai Algiu, somatic psychotherapist with Circle of Being, somatic shadow work, as well as fourth way non-duality studies. And I would like to introduce my very good old friend, Andre Bolouri. Welcome, Andre.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
And this is a short talk. We're going to keep it short in preparation for an upcoming training immersion that Andre and myself, we are going to do together in September. So it's going to be in Nevada City. Unfortunately, just in person. The nature of the training, I think we need to do it just in person. 14th, 15th of September in Nevada City, California. And it's called Conscious Acting, where we are going to combine these acting tools, acting theory, acting practices, but for the purposes of not just acting or improving oneself as an actor. We are not so interested in that, but in helping in the process of psychological healing, psycho-spiritual, emotional development, awakening, that both Andre and myself, we are very, very deeply interested and engaged for a long time. And I have much less experience with this acting business, but Andre has been an actor for many years, an acting teacher. He's been running an acting studio in Berlin and involved in many productions in TV as well as theater productions. As well as, I know Andre from a time when we both were deeply immersed in the fourth way, Gurdjieff, Uspensky work, but our path, we were spiritual brothers alongside in meditation, vipassana, shadow work, and a lot of other non-dual studies. And Andre, besides what I said, his acting career also all this time has been still on the spiritual path. And in the late years, he realized that all this acting, the art can be used to potentiate something else. And he transitioned or is transitioning more and more into being a mentor for people on a healing path or awakening path, using a variety of all of these psycho-emotional consciousness teachings, tools, together with the acting, which, as we will see, they can be used to potentiate some process of loosening up of our psychology, of our deeply entrenched patterns, helping us see our blockages, our inner narrow grooves, our lies, our holding back, our being inauthentic. We have done a similar training maybe a year or 2 years ago, one day, but since Andre is coming back, we want to go a little deeper. And I wanted to ask you, Andre, how do you see from your experience, in which way this acting art and these tools, techniques can help with the psychological unfolding, loosening up, healing, awakening, discovering our true self, or at least differentiating between the ego false patterns and our more authentic nature, or as they call in the fourth way, essence, or emotional work? Any thoughts you have on this to prime our people coming?
Well, you don't leave me much to say. You already said everything basically. But thank you for the in-depth introduction. Yeah, so I just let me say first that this won't be an acting workshop at all. We just use acting tools for spiritual awakening or for the realization of self. Tools that I found to be very helpful and very supportive of one's inner journey. Because to put it in a few words, in acting, you use your body, you use your mind, you use your emotions, you use your spirit, yourself, all at once. You have to basically become a whole person to create a character. Or when you create a character, you try to create the whole being with their thoughts, with their emotions, their physical language. And I'm interested how you can apply that to yourself in your everyday life, how you consciously work with your body, with your emotions, your body language, your emotional expression, what you allow yourself to experience emotionally, and your beliefs, how you think, how you can change your thinking, and yeah, your spiritual self. So to become basically a whole human being, as you do in acting when you create a character, and to look at your life from a point of view as if you're a character in your own play, that you're co-writing with others, that you're co-writing on a spiritual level, that you experience in the 3D. And so these acting tools that we're going to use and work with, they're just a few. They allow us to, in a few moments, basically, with a few partner exercises, to see how you actually work with your emotions, with your body, with your mind, and then to mirror that back to you through your partner, and see where do you want to be with that? Where do you feel like, oh, that's really my authentic self, or that's where I'm blocking myself or suppressing emotions, where I maybe don't allow certain emotions, or way of thinking, and where how could you become more free in the fullness of your expression? That's basically the idea. And there are like 2 exercises that we're gonna use, and then go into depth with those exercises, and building on that to go into an inquiry and trying to see your life from a perspective of you writing your life. Where did you start? What did you create as a beginning? And where's your journey going? Where do you want it to go? What decisions are you taking? Why are you taking those decisions? And so to become more conscious of who you are. Does that
Yeah,
answer your question?
yeah, it evokes a lot of associations and even memories from our last workshop when, yeah, I was very surprised. We didn't have much time to prepare, but you did some very simple partner exercises, and I was watching them as a psychotherapist, and within much short amount of time, people were dropped into some very raw emotional states that would take long time in talk therapy or such things for these states to emerge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're cutting through all the thinking, you're cutting through all the analyzing and protections. Because when you put yourself out there into the contact with someone and maybe work on a theme in your life that is challenging for you, all the stuff immediately comes up, and it shows in your body, it shows in your emotional reaction, and how you communicate. So yeah, it's pretty much to the point.
And it's interesting, this correlation with the fourth way. Part of the knowing oneself is to observe the ego, body, mind, and all the centers. So to work on all the
Right.
centers at the same time, bring awareness on all the
Yeah.
centers. I know in acting, it's developing this character through the moving center, emotional, the attitudes. And also it's interesting in an act, I guess, as a character, as you learn the character, it's very clear what are his motivation. Is Joe,
Exactly. Exactly.
somebody
Yeah.
that I'm playing,
Right.
what
Right.
is driven by, what is motivation? And
Right.
in our life, we are building this character is playing unconsciously, and we don't know the motivation. They are subconscious.
Right. Or we lose sight of them. We get distracted. In acting, we call it our objective. What is your overall objective? What do you want to achieve?
Hmm.
And when you know your objective and you're very clear about it, then you can connect with all your being and use every moment. Every moment is an opportunity to come closer to your objective, instead of seeing things as an obstacle. You use it. You learn to use it because you know where you're going.
Yeah.
And that's also a very important acting tool, to know your objective and to know the context of your behavior in a way.
You know, I put you on the spot now, but Gurdjieff had this important phrase as a guidance how to live one's life in the world, not at a monastery. And he was saying something along the lines of um, externally always play a role and internally never identify. That's one
Yeah.
of his tips. And anyway, from your experience, I was thinking like, as you have experience to become all of these characters that you are not fully identified with, but you develop them, you become them, and then you drop them, and then another character. How does this impact your, are you able to become more impartial or detached from your own inner Andre character, or this Andre character has more range, or is more relaxed, or has more, can you say something about this, or about how do you understand the Gurdjieff quote?
Yeah, that's I don't know what, it's always, if you have those quotes from anyone, it's, I don't know what the context of it was. And you can take things out of context and make them mean something, or you give them interpretation to make it mean something for you that is maybe convenient to think at that time. I don't see it that way. I see it more like, to quote I think Michelangelo, to remove everything from a block of stone, or something, to reveal the sculpture underneath. And I see it more like that, to let go of anything that is not me, that is, learned behavior, learned thoughts, learned beliefs, but that's not actually me. That's not my expression. So I'm more focused on to fully embrace who I am. And when I work with people, to support them, and if they allow me, to guide them towards their full expression, and not to put on a mask. I think we grow up with masks. We learn so many different masks, and the job is to let go of those masks, because then life becomes much more interesting, and you yourself become much more interesting. That's what I call presence. Someone has presence or charisma if they own who they are. And I think that's much more satisfying and much more challenging than putting on mask and pretending to be someone else. That is actually quite easy, not to take anything personal, but to take things personal and to grow through that, to see why is it triggering you? What is there that needs to be healed? What is there that reacts? That's much more interesting to me, because it allows you to get to really know yourself. And I think that's your whole idea, to really get to know yourself, so you find your true expression, your alignment with your purpose, with your objective, with your goal. I don't think you can find it if you don't allow yourself to really get to the depth of who you are, and sharing that, actually. Because I often say in acting classes, if you don't fully express yourself, you deprive your partner of an experience, you deprive the others of an experience. The more you share yourself and share of who you are, the more everyone else, has a fuller experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting that, yeah, we are always co-creating or dancing with other people. And then if we are dancing in a rigid, false way, that they can't dance fully.
Exactly. It's out of rhythm. It's out of rhythm. It's, and you struggle, and you fall. Yeah. You have to get up again.
It's interesting that also this, you talked about presence, which is, yeah, I mean, the main
Right.
goal, to discover both the fourth way, non-dual work and other type of work, to discover the presence as being the core identity and live from that. And it aligns with what you are saying. Living from presence is more spontaneous, uncomplicated. It's kind of happening. It's the flow of the moment, which I believe is connected with these acting tools. You
Right,
know,
and one of the major
in the head.
one of the major acting tools is actually listening.
Hmm.
You know, and there are very nice exercises to practice listening, because when you listen, you're automatically in the moment. You can't help but being in the moment if you listen. And to listen not just with your ears, but with your, you know, emotional self, with your body, to listen with your whole being to the moment and to respond to that. It's actually something you can train, and then you become present, or then you are present.
Yeah. And also,
the exercises, we're going to do one exercise where you do it on your own, and then an exercise where you do it with a partner. And they're very simple. They're very simple, but they, as I said before, they immediately let yourself experience how much you allow yourself to be in the moment. And we can also see it. And we constantly actually read it, but we try to avoid it. We try to, yeah, we all walk with our mask and try to avoid the moment, actually, because then we would have to face the experience. But the beauty is actually in the experience and not in the avoiding.
yes. So
Yeah, so that's where acting, again, is very helpful to, yeah, because it's about being human. Acting in the end is all about being human and sharing a story. And in this case, for the workshop, it's allowing your story to be there, allowing yourself to be there. That's what we want to give space for.
yeah.
And hopefully, everyone takes a few exercises and insights home that they can work with and continue to work with.
Yeah, so we are going to combine all of these things that Andre talked about that are not my department with also meditation, mindfulness, self-inquiry, group process, sharing, as well as maybe various reminders to ring alive this quality of presence and self-observation, which are essential for our work. But in a more playful, it will be playful, yet challenging in an enjoyable way, I hope, and growthful.
Always. Always. It's always important that it's joyful, because that's where your life really moves forward, where you allow yourself, even in difficult moments, to take choices that might be challenging, but you know that with joy you have the courage to move on.
Yeah, follow the heart's enthusiasm.
Right. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, you'll see here the link how to sign up. There are 2 days, and look forward to having you. We won't have a large group, so sign up soon and reach out to us if you have any question or some financial difficulty.
All right.
All right. Thank you. See you all.
Goodbye.